It was an unthinkable tragedy in Oklahoma. On Monday, police discovered 7 bodies on a rural property outside Henrietta. Among the deceased were 6 innocent victims and the suspect, a 39-year-old man named Jesse McFadden, who had served 17 years in prison for felonious rape. To make matters worse, McFadden had been released 3 years early, in 2020, and in the months since had reportedly been trading nude photos with a 16-year-old. He was scheduled to stand trial on charges of solicitation of a minor and possession of child pornography the same day his victims were discovered. The tragedy shattered the lives of all those involved, including 2 teens who were reported missing with McFadden. They were Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer, both 14 and 16 respectively. After an extensive search and a missing persons advisory, police found the girls and 5 others dead on the large wooded property belonging to McFadden's family. Among the 3 adults, McFadden's 35-year-old wife and her 2 children, none of the victims had sustained anything more than 1 to 3 gunshots each to the head from a 9mm pistol. McFadden was also killed by a gunshot wound to the head. According to police, the scene was staged, though they declined to elaborate further. Though McFadden's wife, Holly Guess, had been married to him for a year, she and her children had no idea about his criminal past, which was much more serious than the public knew. In 2016, he was accused of using a contraband cell phone while in prison to trade nude photos with a 16-year-old. His situation compounded when his sentence was reduced in 2020 with good behavior. Although he was due to be tried on new charges, including those regarding the underage photos, he was granted bail. This was a travesty for the families of the victims and all those who had come in contact with McFadden in the past. In response, a spokeswoman for the Oklahoma Department of Corrections released a statement that acknowledged that any registered sex offender is allowed to live with their own children and stepchildren as long as they are not a victim of the offender. This, however, did not address why McFadden was released so soon, who had made such an irresponsible decision. Ultimately, the death of 7 individuals was a horror story that will stay with the families of the victims and the people of Henrietta, Oklahoma for years to come, not least because of the unfinished story behind McFadden's escape and release.